Sertoba Media, where the struggle is real to be awesome.
I push that weight to get that dough, but I don't break cause I've been broke. If ain't no pain, then ain't no growth. To keep it 100, I came in to run it and bet if I had to, I'd do it again. It ain't no race if I don't win. I push that weight to get that dough, but I don't break cause I've been broke. If ain't no pain, then ain't no growth. To keep it 100, I came in to run it and bet if I had to, I'd do it again. It ain't no race if I don't win. Trust I'm coming up for that top spot, coming up for that throne. Trust I'm coming up for that drop top, coupe sitting on.
Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Grind. I am your host, Korrey, and we are here to talk about all things WWE. You can catch The Grind every single Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern, right here on Sertoba Media's YouTube channel. SIRTOBA, 4 p.m. Eastern. Every single Saturday, full episodes of The Grind will be available unless, I got something going on in life. And you can catch The Grind on many different social media platforms. Those platforms will be available for you all to see at the end of today's episode. Now, let's get into what we got for today. Before I get into what I have for you all today, I want you all to know, yes, this is pre-recorded. Yes, I'm probably freezing my jugulars off where I am at the moment. I had to be away for a work trip, and I'll be celebrating my birthday there. So it'll be the day after my birthday that you all see this episode. So do me a favor, jump down in the comments and give your boy a happy birthday. But this time of year, again, we are on the road to WrestleMania. And within the road of WrestleMania, we always have this season of crash outs. Last year showed itself, and this year is looking to be a lot more of the same as we look at, Jey Uso finally selecting Gunther to be his opponent at WrestleMania in the beatdown that ensued. But this time of year, before WrestleMania, is known for two events, the Royal Rumble and the Elimination Chamber. Now, before we actually get into this year's Elimination Chamber with holds and how it's going to form, I want to talk about some of my favorite Elimination Chamber matches. And, I won't be long with you all today, but I want to make sure that, I threw that out there, and I would encourage you all to share with me, what do you believe is the top 3 all-time Elimination Chamber matches in WWE history? When we think about the history of the Elimination Chamber, it was created from the great mind of Eric Bischoff. Back in 2002, Eric Bischoff came up with this concept. And when it was first introduced, I believe during a Survivor Series, it was when HBK was returning. And I mean, this match was brutal. It was unlike anything we had seen before. And if you want to talk about wrestlers putting their life on the line, besides Hell in a Cell, this match was right up there with it. So when you think about this match, it has defined careers, it has ended careers, it has changed the trajectory of those contestants, those participants, those superstars within that match. It has gotten so big over the years that they made their own pay-per-view behind it, or PLE, Premium Live Event, behind it. And just like how Survivor Series did, Elimination Chamber kind of lost its lore a little bit. Or just like Hell in a Cell. Maybe we compared it to Hell in a Cell. It lost its lore a little bit, and it didn't seem as important as it once did. Now, some of the matches were still good, but just like Hell in a Cell, I think right off the bat, Lord Jesus, The Fiend and Seth Rollins, probably the worst Hell in a Cell match of all time, not because of the competitors, but because of probably what they were told to do at that time. If you know, you know. But just the match didn't even build to that Hell in a Cell. It didn't warrant that type of Hell in a Cell. It was just seen as a Halloween pay-per-view, basically. But when you look at what Drew McIntyre and CM Punk did last year and how their rivalry, their contentious nature towards one another brought up to the point where, you know what, it can't be solved in anything else but Hell in a Cell. That is the way that Hell in a Cell should be revered. And it should be the same thing when we look at Elimination Chamber. So let's get into my top three. I'm gonna share with you all my top three Elimination Chamber matches of all time. The Elimination Chamber jumped from New Year's Revolution to Survivor Series to its own PLE, and you know, hopefully this year we get some lore back with the Elimination Chamber and the importance of the Elimination Chamber. So number three on my list, of course, the very first rendition of the Elimination Chamber back in 2002. As I stated earlier, Shawn Michaels was returning. Triple H was the World Heavyweight Champion. And that match was just so brutal. The World Heavyweight Champion Triple H defending his title against the returning Shawn Michaels, the upstart Booker T, make sure I get this right, RVD, Kane, and Chris Jericho. And when I tell y'all the spots in this match are so brutal, the steel was more evident then. Now they got some padding, some mats in there a little bit to kind of help out with the blows, but the steel was evident. It was blood everywhere. And this match was pretty much about Shawn Michaels coming back from that major back surgery that he had and reestablishing himself as the world champion. Now, I will say this about this match is that I did not like Shawn Michaels' attire. I think we will all agree the Tootsie Roll pop pants and, you know, the little splashes of blue. I don't know what they thought that was. That thing was horrible. Probably easily Shawn Michaels' worst gear of his career. Argue with your mama, not me. But that match was magical in the fact that it was something we had never seen before, and it was so barbaric. Shout out to those wrestlers for being vulnerable and getting into that match and, you know, putting their egos to the side to make sure that that match got over. Ultimately, Shawn Michaels won the match after a brutal contest between himself and Triple H there in the end. He became the World Heavyweight Champion. His World Heavyweight Championship reign did not last long, you know, but it was a feel-good moment. The match was successful, and here we go. It was established as a regular on pretty much a year-to-year basis since its inception. So number three on my list is the very first Elimination Chamber match. Number two on my favorite Elimination Chamber matches of all time is 2019's rendition of Elimination Chamber with the eco-environmentalist fickle man Daniel Bryan being the WWE champion, defending against Randy Orton, Kofi Kingston, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Jeff Hardy. And I will say, this is the beginning of Kofi Mania, by the way. It's the beginning of Kofi Mania. And the way that match went on, the way the story was told was so beautiful. Kofi, again, fighting against the odds, taking a spot that was originally meant for Mustafa Ali. Shout out to him. He's killing it over in TNA. But Mustafa Ali originally was supposed to be in this position. And Kofi just, you know, because of an injury, Kofi stepped in, and all of a sudden, Kofi Mania just went crazy. And that match between him and Bryan, I mean, going back and forth and back and forth. And I really appreciated that WWE didn't just give it to us right away. They saw that they had a nugget with making Kofi Kingston champion at WrestleMania, and the fans demanded it. One of the very few times under that VKM era where they actually pivoted and listened to the fans and gave the fans what they wanted. But I appreciate the story behind it, you know, making the entire New Day go through hell so that way Kofi can get his title shot at Mania and ultimately winning it at Mania. Now, that Mania was probably one of the longest, underwhelming Manias of all time. We're not gonna get into that. But the moment was magical. It was beautiful. It was well deserved. I believe Kofi had been with the company for like 11 years at that point, and he deserved it. He definitely deserved it. It was beautiful, you know, and I think that's a moment that will last upon me forever. I don't think I'll ever forget that. I remember how I felt in that moment. So I'm always game for someone getting what they deserved, not just, you know, handed to them on a platter or shoved down our throats. Kofi Kingston deserved that world title win. and the magic behind that story. If y'all want to see a great story, starting with that Elimination Chamber, go check out 2019 Elimination Chamber all the way up to WrestleMania, the Kofi Mania saga. It was beautiful. Now we get into the number one, my favorite Elimination Chamber match of all time. You can guess what it was by some of the things that I have, collector's items I have in this room. But 2017, the late great Bray Wyatt winning the WWE Championship in the Elimination Chamber was one of the most beautiful things and well-deserved things that I have ever seen. He was in a match with himself, AJ Styles, John Cena, Dean Ambrose, Baron Corbin, and The Miz. And it couldn't have been done any better. Now, Bray Wyatt at this point was, white hot. When he came on the scene with the Wyatt family, he got people to gravitate towards him because of his ability to speak on the mic, because of his ability to, make you think deeper than what the average star had. And the thing that, Bray Wyatt did for me, that really brought me back into wrestling fully, was his storytelling. I almost go to my grave with this. That man is one of the greatest, if not the greatest storyteller of all time. And I don't think we've ever seen anyone like him who has left nuggets along his path, knowing that one day he was going to have to change and become something different. And he was able to reach back into what he did before to inspire him to what next character was going to be for him. But in 2017, that match was so magical. He was able to eliminate both AJ Styles and John Cena to win that WWE Championship. And I remember the moment. He's got the whole world in his hands. And it went dark. The fireflies was out. I just close my eyes and I think about that moment and how I felt in that moment and how much he deserved that moment. And he was an up-and-coming star. He was a star, not up-and-coming. He was a star. Years in the Wyatt family, broken up. Just you name it, he did it, and he persevered through it all. And I don't think that the great Wyndham Rotunda really gets the respect that he deserves. Wyndham is one of a kind. He's one of a kind. He would never be, duplicated. There's others that can carry on his legacy, but he will never be duplicated. There is only one Wyndham. There's only one person that's special. And, I just thinking about that match and how I felt, it was my favorite. And it was just, somebody that was up and coming who came out as a character and they made him be Husky Harris and some other characters at first that was just horrible, who rose above those proverbial ashes and became that true face of the company that he deserved to be. Now, in none of his title reigns, and I'll just be honest, he got the respect he deserved. I don't feel like he did. I do not feel like he got the respect he deserved. Am I saying he should be a champion for a year? No. But I do think that they could have done better by him, simply making sure that his stories were great, which, his storytelling wasn't bad, but we know who had control of it ultimately, and he was only doing what he was asked to do. And then results from stories was just horrible. That match at WrestleMania with him and Randy Orton really pisses me off to this day. Him losing to Goldberg pisses me off to this day. But anyways, but that match was magical. He beat the top two stars in that moment in order to solidify himself as the champion. And that's what made it even more sweet watching it. So my favorite Elimination Chamber match, the one that gives me all the feels, is that Bray Wyatt 2017 win for the WWE Championship. All right, y'all, and there you have it. Those are my top 3 Elimination Chamber matches of all time. Take a moment, go in the comment section. Tell me what you think about my top 3. Share your top 3. What do you think is the top 3 Elimination Chamber matches of all time? Now, as I stated earlier, I am currently not in town, but you will get an episode from me once I return talking about the 2025 Elimination Chamber, thoughts and predictions, etc. that will be the next episode that you see after this. So follow Sirtoba Media on all social media platforms, y'all. SIRTOBA. Follow us. We are trying to do something different in this content game by just being our authentic selves and bringing the shenanigans along with it. Follow The Grind on every single social media platform. You're going to see specific platforms, by the way. You're going to see those here in a moment at the end of this episode. I want you all to enjoy yourself. Please be safe out here. Have a great afternoon. I appreciate you spending some time with me. And always stay true to what you do, stay true to why you do, and always stay true to you. See y'all next week.
Push that weight to get that goal, but I don't break 'cause I've been broke.